Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Ranjeev Puri. I am a recently elected state representative, and I am honored to be the host of tonight's first ever virtual Vaisakhi celebration here in Michigan. Today actually marks a holiday in many parts of the world. For those celebrating Chaitra Navratri, Ramadan, I know we also just passed the celebrations of Easter, and Passover. And so I wish you all the very, very best during this holiday season. It is wonderful to come together with so many faiths and cultures to celebrate these really special days. For those that know me, know that I am a tireless advocate for diversity and equity and inclusion, and we must continue to lift up all of the communities in Michigan, because part of the reason and that what makes Michigan so great is the fact that so many communities from across the world have come here to call Michigan home. Now, this should be celebrated, but unfortunately, that's not always the case. Many of these communities are under assault. I was able to introduce House Resolution 61 to condemn the acts of violence against the Asian community. This, unfortunately, also is all too familiar in the Sikh community, as after 9/11, there was a rise in hate crimes and violence. Now, nobody should ever live in fear, regardless of who they are, regardless of background or belief. And so the way around this is to continue to raise awareness for all of our communities, which is why the ability to host tonight's events means so much to me and the Sikh community. It is more than just a celebration. It is the ability to be seen and hopefully stop some of the ignorance which certainly exists. Now, the fundamental tenets of Sikhism are to stand up against injustice, especially for those who need help the most. Now, Vaisakhi is fundamentally about community, celebration, and progress. And these values are at the forefront of the collective consciousness as Sikhs gather to celebrate this special occasion. Now, when we originally planned this event, we were shocked by the amount of excitement and energy behind the event tonight. We quickly had over 500 people sign up. So we are broadcasting live right now on YouTube. We're also on Facebook because, for anyone who's not able to register because we reached our capacity, we're just trying to get this out. So please bear with us as we kind of sort through some of the technical features here. But our agenda is absolutely filled tonight. We have so many honored guests. I can't wait to start this event. But having me host this event for hours would not be fun for anyone who's watching. So I begged and solicited my dear friend Priya Mann, who many of you know as a reporter and anchor right here in Metro Detroit. She is fantastic, and she does such a great job, and she will be such a great MC for our event this evening. So with that, welcome Priya. Thank you so much for joining our event tonight.
Ranjeev, you have set the bar way too high. Thank you so much for asking me to be involved. I am certainly honored. Of course, I'd like to begin with Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Of course, Vaisakhi di Lakh Lakh Bidaiyan. Happy Chaitra Navratri if you're celebrating. Ramadan Mubarak. What an amazing time to be celebrating with our Muslim, Hindu, and Sikh brothers and sisters. The birth of Khalsa in 1699 has really shaped my view of the world and my place in it. And of course, as we know, Vaisakhi is happening during one of the largest protests in human history, the farmers' protests that are happening in India. Solidarity protests and rallies have happened right here in Metro Detroit, across the US, across Canada, Australia, the UK, and Europe. The strength and resilience of our farmers inspires me, and I really do believe that this shows that by working together, we can build a just and equitable future for everyone. Now, I would like to thank my dear friends, State Rep Ranjeev Puri and his wife Nidhi, for putting together the first Vaisakhi celebration. This is why representation matters. This is why having a seat at the table is so vital, regardless of your political beliefs. So thank you so much, Ranjeev, for bringing Vaisakhi celebrations to everyone who's joining us virtually. And I am so glad that so many of you have decided to celebrate virtually. As COVID cases continue to go up, this is the safest, most responsible decision you could make. And hopefully next year it won't have to be virtual and we can celebrate in our places of worship together. I would also like to thank all of the elected officials who are here today, as well as the community members, you guys, the activists, the humanitarians, everyone who's here today to celebrate Vaisakhi. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And of course, in the spirit of Khalsa, Chardikala. Ranjeev, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you so much for those words, Priya. And you just say things so eloquently. But this could not be possible without everyone. Obviously, today's celebration is so different from years past. We don't have the song, dance, the food, and all and everything that we do enjoy about celebrating Vaisakhi together. But hopefully, with tonight's event and all the excitement behind it, we can still share some of that excitement and come together next year. With that. We wanted to kind of start out today with a couple community members, with Tej Karan Singh and Dilbag Singh, who are coming to us here from southeastern Michigan, who are going to just explain a little bit about the significance of Vaisakhi, the meaning, and things of that nature.
Thank you, Ranjeev. Thank you, Priya. Good evening. Sat Shri Akal. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. First of all, happy Vaisakhi to all of you and your families. I am Dilbag Singh, working at T-Mobile in an engineering role and also volunteering at Sikh Place of Worship, Gurdwara, in Plymouth, Michigan, serving as president. I would like to express my thanks on behalf of the entire Michigan Sikh community to Mr. Ranjeev Puri for organizing this, and Governor Whitmer and all the elected state officials who have joined us tonight. I feel blessed to be with you in celebrating Vaisakhi, the day of the founding of the institution of Khalsa. Vaisakhi, a Sikh religious holiday, marks an important moment in Sikh history. This is a time where we come together with our families for celebration. It is a time for seva, selfless service, and helping those in need. These values are not only shared by the Sikh community, but by all Americans from coast to coast. It falls on April 14 and celebrates the founding of the institution of Khalsa in 1699, which created a physical identity of the Sikhs, unshorn hair and beard and a head covering, as a mandatory part of their faith. In addition, members of the Sikh faith were ordered to adopt the last name of Singh, meaning lion, for men, and Kaur, meaning princess, for women, to get rid of social structures that enforced inequality and to follow a code of conduct which Sikhs still uphold today, practicing equality, kindness, courage, steadfastness, and leadership. The Khalsa was created to encourage people to stand up for their civil rights and religious freedom for all. Today, Vaisakhi is celebrated by Sikhs all over the world as a religious and social holiday. They go with their families to the Gurudwara, the place of worship, basically to sing hymns and to read the Sikh holy book, Guru Granth Sahib. Processions and feasting follow readings of the Holy Scripture. Vaisakhi brings together people of all backgrounds in the spirit of love and respect. Vaisakhi is both sacred and secular. Vaisakhi is both sacred and secular, which encourages everyone to congregate, meet, and mix amid festivity and pageantry. Vaisakhi is at its simplest a time to rise above prejudices and join in the unique celebration of life. It embodies at a deeper level the concept of cyclical regeneration as in all harvest festivals. Once again, wish you all and your families a very happy Vaisakhi. Now, my friend Tej Karan Singh, currently working at Ford as an engineer and volunteering at Gurdwara Sahib in Canton, Michigan, will share more information about the importance and history of this day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dilbag Singh. Really appreciate a nice introduction you gave. Thanks to all the organizers, Ranjeev, and all the guests who are participating with us in this big celebration. First, I would like to explain, as Ranjeev said, Priya said, and the same thing Dilbag Singh said, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. What is it? And why we say it? and what it means. So this is a greeting or a wish which Sikhs always say or address to among themselves. And in any congregation, if you have visited the Gurdwara, you probably remember on a piece of paper, somebody wrote it down and told you in the beginning, when you're trying to address the congregation, said Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And at the end of your speech or your discussion, say the same thing. So Vaheguru Ji means is Almighty. In our language, Sikhs call the God, the ultimate God, one creator, Vaheguru Ji. It comes with a feeling and with a passion, Vaheguru, oh my Lord. Ka Khalsa, Khalsa means that if I'm saying to somebody, like Ranjeev, if I'm saying Vaheguru Khalsa, Vaheguru Fateh, that means I'm telling him that you purely belong to one God. Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, in this, Fateh means is blessed. So I'm like praying for his goodness, that you exclusively belong to the Almighty and you will be always blessed. So that's what it means. So in future, if you decide, you at least know the words you said, what they meant to the congregations or to anybody. So again, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh to everybody. Happy Vaisakhi Purb. The reason Sikhs celebrate, I will talk a little bit about the three main reasons. You can search internet, but you can find all kind of information. Main 3 points. Number one is actually the date is between 13 and 14, so doesn't matter. Date has no meaning. It's the message, is the which Guru's wish, and if we are fulfilling that, that's more important. So on 14th April 1969, first prophet Sri Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, that is his birthday. So Sikhs celebrate the birthday of the first Guru Sahib, first prophet. On this date, as Dilbagh Singh said, 1699, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji performed the baptism ceremony first time, and he asked all his Sikhs to do the following: 5 Ks, we call it, uncut hair. That's the accepting the Creator's creation. If he gave me hair, I should keep it. Uncut beard anywhere, so I can tie it. I tie my turban to keep them professionally. Then I have a comb. It's got kanga. So hygienic, from hygienic ground. God gave me this body. I got to maintain it hygienically. Then number 3 is the kara. And we wear this kara. You see this strong metal bangle, bracelet, you want to call. It signifies the Almighty. No starting point. It doesn't have any starting point, no finishing points. So infinity, the Almighty, and strong like him. And then we have kachara, long shorts, Sikhs wear under the trousers, is for high moral values. And then we have the kirpan, which tells that I'll be able to do anything to help the needy. It's not a fighting symbol. It's to have a pledge. So somebody needs money, somebody's food, lodging, anything. So that's what seva comes in. And the third point is we celebrated because the harvest season in India, this is the time. And from all the hard work done in the cold weather, the fruits of that hard work comes. So Sikhs celebrated, and you will see that Bhangra coming up later.
And we can't wait for that. Thank you so much, Dilbagh Singh uncle and Tejkiran Singh uncle, for not only explaining sort of the history, but just what makes Sikhism such a beautiful, unifying, and connected belief. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks.
Thank you, Priya.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
So our next guest is someone who literally stands out from everyone else. He stands tall for Michigan every day. He is a pillar in our fight for a more just and fair Michigan. I'm honored to call him a friend. Please, everyone, welcome Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It is such an honor and a privilege to be here to celebrate Vaisakhi, to just say This is a time of important remembrance, reflection, and I think also how we can project our values and our excitement about the future and possibility. I want to thank you, Representative Puri, for your leadership, for pulling this together, for everyone who has had a role in making this happen. I want to congratulate you on the historic nature of you being in the position that you are in. You are really a walking embodiment of the fact that representation matters, and that we have all people from all walks of life, different backgrounds, faith, beliefs, identities. We all are at the table of decision making. That table is better and it makes better decisions. And so I appreciate your leadership so much. And thank you also, and congratulate you on the resolution for Sikh Appreciation and Awareness Month that was passed on March 25th. I also want to recognize my fellow elected officials who will be participating in the celebration today. United States Senator Debbie Stabenow, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, Congressman Levin, and of course, my partner and friend, the governor of the great state of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. I'm so just eager, frankly, to be here, to be able to participate even for just a small amount of time I can, to learn more about Sikhism and Vaisakhi in particular, having been exposed to it as a child, growing up in the second half of my childhood in Farmington was when I was first introduced to the culture and to the religion. I've always been quite inspired by it. So this is a celebration, of the Punjabi New Year and a day to honor and celebrate collective faith. It is so important that we come together in whatever way we can, even if it's virtually, to support one another. And again, share that collective, not only history, but talk about our collective future, how connected we are, and how much stronger we are when we're together. That is what this celebration represents. The Whitmer administration is committed to celebrating and elevating diversity within our own administration and state government. We have to walk the walk. We have to demonstrate and live out our values. We've been deliberate in the formation of our cabinet and our leadership team because we want our administration to look like our state. I wanted to make sure that my children, I got twin 7-year-olds and a baby girl, and other young people in Michigan see themselves represented in state government. In 2021, my baby girl and her older sister were able to see a vice president of the United States who literally look like them. That is so incredibly powerful. And I think it's going to be inspiring in ways that even I, as a proud father, will not be able to fully articulate or comprehend. Michigan is home to so much diversity. It should be recognized and should be celebrated as not just a characteristic of our state, but as a strength. And our administration firmly believes that that is true. And we're going to continue to do our best to make sure that our actions reflect that. Hopefully, when we gather to celebrate in person next year, we can experience this in all the richness and vitality together. But in the meantime, that does not diminish the value, importance, and purpose of this collection and coming together that's happening today. Thank you so much for having me this evening. And it is now, I believe, I get the privilege of introducing Governor Whitmer.
Yep. We're going to
Okay,
be
excellent.
We're going to bring her on, but Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For always being a beacon for what's right. It's been an honor to work with you, and I just look forward to continuing to make so much progress with you.
Thank you. We have so much work to do, and I'm glad to do it alongside you.
Thank you. On behalf of the community, thank you so much. So our next special guest really doesn't need an introduction. Lieutenant Governor already kind of alluded to it. She leads our state of Michigan fearlessly and has done a wonderful job representing our state. I actually met her a few years ago during my campaign when she visited a Sikh Gurdwara in Canton, Michigan during Gurpurb. I told her about my ambitions to become a state representative. She looked me straight in the eye and just gave it to me straight. She said, work hard, make it to Lansing, and I look forward to working with you. I am honored to be able to say many years later that that woman from Michigan and me are colleagues. And as a Game of Thrones junkie, I'm a couple years late to this joke, but Whitmer is coming. Everyone, please welcome our governor, Gretchen Whitmer.
Thank you, Representative Puri. It's so nice to call you representative. You obviously did the work, and we're so grateful for your leadership. And Priya, glad to be with you as well. It's always good to see you. And so pleased to be with the Michigan Indian Community Services, the Sikh Coalition, SALDEF, and other distinguished community leaders and guests. And it's an honor to join you today to celebrate Vaisakhi and talk about how we can build an equitable, prosperous, and more just Michigan for all of us. I know the Lieutenant Governor just touched on that, and I'm so grateful for his partnership. So we know Vaisakhi commemorates the birth of formal organized Sikhism in the year 1699, and for centuries, Sikhs have been living out the values laid out that long ago, believing that all people are equal and that each of us can experience freedom through loving and serving each other. These are the values every one of us should practice, regardless of our religion and our history. There are 500,000 Sikh Americans living in the United States, and Michigan is home to tens of thousands of Sikh Americans and has 15 Sikh Gurudwaras. I hope I said it almost right. But it's such a source of pride for the incredible diversity and opportunity that Michigan has. I'm grateful for the invaluable contributions that Sikh Americans have made to our communities, including obviously Representative Puri, Michigan's first elected Sikh American in the legislature, who also introduced the resolution to condemn hate crimes against Asian Americans. This legislation is essential. More than 30% of Asian Americans, nearly 1 in 3, have reported being subjected to racist and hateful acts of discrimination or violence. This is unacceptable, and we know that the number's probably higher than that. As President Biden has said, these attacks on communities, on our community, our collective community, it's wrong, it's un-American, and it's got to stop. The violence and discrimination against Sikh Americans we've seen may not be representative of what America is at its best, but it is the reality of millions of Americans every day. Since 9/11, too many Sikh Americans have been subject to discrimination simply by practicing their religion. And this bigotry, it is fed and inflamed by politicians and prominent figures who shamelessly spout abhorrent rhetoric that puts people in danger. For decades, Sikh Americans and Asian Americans have heard vicious variations of "go back to where you came from" ordinary people and powerful figures alike. These are hateful words spoken to otherize our Sikh, Indian, and Asian brothers and sisters, our neighbors and colleagues, our friends and family. And the hateful rhetoric has unfortunately flourished in recent years. Sikh Americans have survived and thrived through it all, despite our country's history of violence and bigotry toward the community. Sikh Americans, immigrants, came to our country, this country we all share, over centuries for a variety of reasons, fleeing violence to pursuing opportunity. But what binds them together and what makes them fundamentally American is their presence, their power, and their persistence, their commitment to their kids and the next generation, their belief that brighter days are ahead. So, with extraordinary strength and courage, generations of Sikh Americans have lived these American ideals and have taught many of us the importance of that. You're an inextricable part of the American story and of Michigan's story. And as we chase the American dream, Sikh Americans also deserve to live the American day-to-day dream. And that means not being harassed for who you are. It means being treated with dignity and respect. It means having a boundless future. That's who we are at our best. That's who we ought to be. And it's who we will be if we work on this together. So as I finish up here, I want to recommit ourselves to fighting for an inclusive, equitable, and more just Michigan. To do so, we all have a duty to hold ourselves and one another to a higher standard. We got to live our values, not just talk about them. I applaud Representative Puri for introducing the resolution to condemn hate crimes against Asian Americans, and that's a great first step. I'm also grateful to President Biden and Vice President Harris for their forceful denunciations of discrimination and their willingness to listen and a real dedication to doing more. And I want to make our values very clear. Hate has no home in Michigan. I want to thank Representative Puri for organizing this event, Priya for your hard work on it as well, and really pleased to be with all of you for this important Vaisakhi celebration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Governor Whitmer. We know how busy you are for obvious reasons. So thank you so much for taking a few moments to celebrate Vaisakhi with us. You touched on a few things. I'd love to get your thoughts real quick. We talked about the rise in Asian hate. You know, Asians and other minority groups, they often may feel invisible or ignored, especially politically. How do you think we can increase their visibility through a societal and political lens?
I love that question. I really appreciate it. You know, government and politics are supposed to be representative of the people they serve. And it's essential that we all do what we can to engage and uplift Asian Americans and all historically marginalized groups, because representation matters. Although the experiences are different, I know that as a woman, I felt that my voice wasn't represented in government. The day I was born, there were 0 women serving as governors in the United States. And we'd only ever had 4 before then. Today, there are 8 concurrently serving. It would have been 9, but Gina Raimondo just left our ranks to become the Secretary of Commerce in the Biden administration. Asian American representation has increased rapidly too, and I'm confident that it will continue to rise in the boardroom, in the halls of government, and everywhere in between. From the very first Sikh American member of Congress, Dalip Singh Sond in 1957, to the first Indian American and woman Vice President of the United States, Kamala Devi Harris, in 2021, Asian Americans have come a long way. There are more than 15 million Asian Americans, including 500,000 Sikh Americans. To increase visibility, as you mentioned in your question, I urge everyone to get involved at the local, state, and national level. Make your voices heard and your presence felt, because your perspective is important and it matters. I'm grateful to the high-profile Indian American leaders breaking through at the national and federal level, whether in state government or in the private or philanthropic sectors. Asian Americans are CEOs of some of the world's largest companies and decision makers at the highest levels of government in the United States, including the White House. So it's important that we lean in, that we promote and empower and support one another. And that, I think, is how we can realize the goal that we all share.
Now, Governor, I live in Detroit. Just got my second shot at the TCF Center last week. Around these parts, you are affectionately known as Big Gretch. I got a question for you, and I know I've heard this in your press conferences repeatedly, but you know, how is the state working to ensure that there is an equitable distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine to marginalized communities?
Well, we're working really hard on that. It's really important that we are ensuring equitable access and vaccinations. And it's been a cornerstone of the work that we've done, whether it's addressing COVID or is now addressing the vaccines. It's been kind of our North Star equity. And I'll tell you, the White House has been very clear that equity has got to be a center of the work that's happening in states all across the country. So the pandemic exacerbated so many underlying economic and health inequities in Michigan and across the U.S. We know that equity starts at the top, which is why we formed the Racial Disparities Task Force to address the disproportionate impact COVID had on communities of color. The task force, of course, was led by Garland Gilchrist, our Lieutenant Governor, and our Chief Medical Executive, Janae Caldoun. Dr. Caldoun, who's always by my side, was one of the first people in the country to point out the disparate impact COVID was having on communities of color. And so we changed, we worked to make sure that we did the outreach, and other states learned from us. And I'm proud that the task force is approaching its 1-year anniversary, and they've done some incredible work. But the work continues, because it's got to inform not just our vaccination drive as we work to vaccinate equitably 70% of Michiganders 16 and up, but it's got to go well beyond COVID. This is going to drive an agenda around equity here, because there are a lot of things that we've got to address, from healthcare access to equitable opportunities in education and equitable opportunities for entrepreneurs, for that matter. So this is a lens of which we look across the spectrum so that we can improve quality of life for all Michiganders. And we're making great progress. We've got more work to do, but at this point, we've delivered over 5.2 million shots to 3.2 million Michiganders. And we're making incredible progress. But anyone on this Zoom or call tonight, please get vaccinated if you haven't already. Puri can tell you, Representative Puri, and you can tell exactly how easy that is, right, Priya?
Oh, absolutely. It was seamless, incredible. I was in and out, and I'm so glad you got your shot with your daughter just the other day at Ford Field. I have one last question, if I may, and it just sort of brings it full circle. I was thinking back to the conversation you had with Ranjeev many years ago, and now you're both colleagues in Lansing. You know, what opportunities are there for younger South Asian people to get involved politically? What would your advice be?
I think to jump in, there's not a perfect path in, but I think that there are many opportunities, whether it is helping Representative Puri get reelected, is jumping in with me, it's looking at some of the incredible opportunities we have in terms of forms of appointments. Equity informs a lot of the work that we're doing, from the policies we pursue to the people that we hire. We've built a diverse staff because ultimately it makes our state better. It makes our work more meaningful and effective. Michigan's home to so much diversity, and it's got to be recognized. And groups that have been left out must be given seats at the table, but not just a seat at the table, an empowered position to make a difference and to make voices heard. The LG and I were deliberate in the formation of the cabinet. We wanted this administration to look like our state. And as for South Asian staff, specifically my speechwriter, Chai Karve, is an Indian American, and Chai immigrated to the United States with his family in 2001. He's also one of the funniest people that I've met. So we'll see. Hopefully you can be the judge of that. We'll see if you find some humor in some of my future speeches. Also, we've got one of our Deputy Director of Constituent Services, Ed Dykoza, and Correspondence Manager Juna Kim. We're really proud to have members of our team that bring this important perspective, and we are propping up, and hopefully we'll be in a position where we can elect or appoint a lot more. And that's why I invite anyone who's interested. We make a lot of appointments every year. Geeta Dagger is the head of my appointments. We've made a lot of important strides in ensuring that there's real representation, but there's much more work to do. So anyone who's interested should definitely consider reaching out on that front too. I'd love to work with you.
Well, thank you so much, Governor. We know how busy you are. Thank you again for celebrating Vaisakhi with us. I know you can't see the chats, but Governor, you are getting a lot of namastes.
Thank you. Namaste.
Governor Whitmer, thank you so much for joining us on behalf of the community. Thank you for your leadership during these trying times. And thank you for always just being a beacon for what's right. So we appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you. Happy Vaisakhi.
Happy Vaisakhi.
Thanks, Gov.
So that was wonderful. But it gets even better with our next guest is another person representing Michigan in such a great way in our U.S. Senate. She's an institution and someone who's always willing to stand up for what's right. If everyone could please welcome U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow.
Well, good evening, and State Representative Puri, it is so wonderful to have you in the State House. First, let me say congratulations to you, and Priya, thanks so much for being willing to moderate this wonderful, wonderful event this evening, and I really appreciate your inviting me to really be a part of this. And so happy Vaisakhi. And I want to say also, just as the governor has said, and isn't she doing a wonderful job, I have to say, in such difficult circumstances. But we are in a position now where we need your leadership, your values, the contributions you make to Michigan now more than ever. Compassion, community, equality. These are things that, I'm having to fight for on your behalf in the United States Senate every day. And we need to have all of us embracing those so that it's not such a challenge as it has been. When your neighbors are struggling, you're there, you're reaching out to help feed the community and treating the sick and comforting people who are suffering. And that's something we should all be doing as a basic tenet of our shared faith and humanity. So I just want to thank you so much for that. You truly live your faith every day. And we are incredibly fortunate to have a large Sikh community in Michigan, and I'm so proud that you are with us. You know, I've always believed that our diversity really is our strength in Michigan, and it really is our strength in America. It's being challenged right now. We've gone through and are going through very difficult times. Right now, this week, we have a bill on the floor of the U.S. Senate, which I'm proud to be a co-sponsor of, that is addressing hate crimes against the Asian American community. We have to understand that this is serious. We have to make sure, you know, we as a country, as a people, have your back in standing up to discrimination and to any hate crimes that are occurring. So these are challenging times, but I'm a very optimistic person, and I so fundamentally believe in the values that you represent through your faith. And if we just hang in there together, if we just continue to do everything we can to lift up the right people, the right values, kindness and community and compassion, and if we're willing to stand up and fight for equality for everyone, we're going to be stronger. We will be even better as Michigan, as our country. So I'm proud to be your United States Senator. I'm proud to be your partner, and I'm hopeful that you will enjoy the rest of this wonderful celebration. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Senator. Actually, in the comments, somebody said, thanks, Senator, for saying truly living our faith. So thank you so much for taking the time to celebrate Vaisakhi with us.
Take care.
Senator, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. Well, we also, you know, Ranjeev, I was just thinking, how long before we won't have to do this anymore? Like the wave goodbye.
Right. or remind people they're on mute.
Yeah, exactly. No, you got to unmute yourself. All right. Well, listen, you know what? We have had some incredible speeches. This would not be a Vaisakhi party without a little bit of music. This is the word that always trips me up. So in the chats, please be kind to me. But we do have a very talented Bhangra team that is going to be performing for us. It is the Detroit Folk Arts, also known as the DFA. This was a pre-pandemic performance. So guys, I know we can't be together right now, but we can still celebrate Punjabi style. Please enjoy this performance by the Detroit Folk Arts, the DFA.
Hey everybody, my name is Gursimran Singh.
And my name is Sahil Mehta. We are two of the owners of Detroit Folk Arts Bhangra Academy, and we're extremely thankful to Ranjeev and everyone else that was able to join us in allowing us to be here to showcase our love and passion for Bhangra, which is a Punjabi cultural dance which was done primarily during Vaisakhi as a way to celebrate the harvest. And of course, when everyone is happy, they would do Bhangra, and it developed and evolved over time. And right now we own the largest Bhangra Academy in the state of Michigan. We have over 150 students online and in person. And we're going to show you guys a few clips of what some of our past performances are.
To start off, we had a performance actually this past summer, which we were just recording for fun, rocking some of our gear. So here's the clip.
People always ask me, why do I look dance in Detroit folk arts? Instead of telling you, I want to show you.
Second one, this is actually from a competition we had this summer.
Yeah, this was from our Eat Bhangra competition, and it was a real fun way for us to get together during the middle of the pandemic and win a competition. Here it is.
You're listening to the one and only It's time for us as a people to start making some changes. Let's change the way we eat, let's change the way we live, and let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we gotta do to survive.
And for the third one,
this one is what it's all about. This was actually pre-pandemic, another competition that we were able to win first place. This is when we get fully dressed, wear our outfits, months of preparation. Here's a glimpse of what a Bhangra competition looks like and how we looked on stage.
Once again, we hope you guys enjoyed watching these videos as much as we enjoy performing and celebrating all throughout our times of dancing. We also want to once again thank Ranjeev and every other elected Michigan official that was on here to help allow us to promote our own culture and our diversity. Thank you so much, and happy Vaisakhi.
All right, that was banging. Those dance moves, they got to teach us a step or two.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. And for those who couldn't see behind the scenes, I mean, there's something about Bhangra music and how infectious it is, because Priya and I were both doing some Bhangra and it was getting out of control.
Well, the thing is, like, I noticed we're texting, and then I'd look up and Rose like, yep, that's where it's at.
That was incredible. We will
Thank you,
absolutely hope to see them next year when we're in person. But let's get back in our seats. I am absolutely honored because I don't think there's anyone on this call tonight who has not been moved by one of the fiery speeches of our next guest. Someone who is always willing to stand up for her values and fight for what she believes in. Someone that I'm proud to share part of my district with. Please, everyone, welcome U.S. Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. Hi, Congresswoman.
You might be muted. I mean, look at how busy she is. She's traveling and she's still making time.
Okay, now am I unmuted?
We got you.
We hear you.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm in an Uber. We just finished voting. But what a beautiful dance performance. First of all, let me say that, and I'm glad I finished voting in time to be able to watch it. And I want to thank you for having me here, and thank you to Ranjeev, or I should be very official and say Rep. Puri, for bringing us together to celebrate this. He is a fierce leader for this community, for Sikhs across the country, and for we do share part of our districts, and I'm really proud to work with him. So just thank you all for being here and supporting him. But by now you've heard from other people speaking, so we know the importance of the Sikh New Year festival. And I think there's so many. Ramadan started. We've had Passover. We've had Easter this year, and the start of this new year for you all is a time to think about service and reflecting on the last year and bringing people together. After the year that we've all had, it's time to reflect on what we've learned, how we can go forth with these lessons, and how we can be there for one another. I think it's more important than ever. And I know that that's what Representative Puri is all about and working for you. I can't stress the importance of this enough right now, because we know, and you've already heard from Governor Whitmer and from Debbie Stabenow, Michigan's the talk of everybody in the country, but not for the right reason. So we've got to really make sure we're listening to each other. You can see I've been vaccinated, was scared to death to get it done, and I'm still wearing my mask, because we've got to keep working together and lead and support each other. And tonight's a day to also remember that we got to make sure that we treat everybody, no matter who they are, no matter what background, what cultural background, race, creed, color, religion, with respect and dignity. So, and everybody on this Zoom, you wouldn't be here if you didn't care, knows that our nation's stronger because of our diversity. So I'm proud of my friendships with the Sikh American community in Michigan, and I promise that I'm never going to stop fighting for you and celebrating your accomplishments. So I wish everybody I do wish you a happy new year. I hope it's a lot better than the last one. Hopefully we all found peace. And I think I'm supposed to pass it to Andy Levin now, right? My dear friend, and I can see he's on because he said greetings. So may he unmute like I didn't. I can't wait to be in person with everyone next year. And thanks for being here to support such a good man.
Thank you, Debbie Dingell, and thank you for everything that you have been doing for your very long and productive career. I love that she joined us from that Uber.
That just speaks to she's a tireless fighter. It's something I extremely admire about her, and also our next guest. It's someone who I also admire for his authenticity, and someone who we can always count on to do the right thing, who, after a very busy day of voting, is joining us live from DC. Thank you so much for joining, Congressman Levin. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Ranjeev. I'm not in an Uber. I'm in my office. So. Unlike Deb, I just walk home to my little apartment after we finish voting. But it's great to follow my sister, and I really want to thank you all for inviting me to this Vaisakhi celebration. Obviously, it'd be great to celebrate in person, as Debbie was talking about, and especially today with the whole tradition of worship and sharing meals and displays of Punjabi heritage. But we have to stay safe. So for the moment, we're together virtually. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Congressman Andy Levin. I represent Michigan's 9th District, Southeast Oakland and Southern Macomb County, and Sterling Heights, home to the largest Gurdwara in Michigan. And I'm really excited to share that. In honor of Vaisakhi today, I signed on to the Congressional Sikh Caucus. So that was a big, exciting thing for me today.
All right.
Yeah. And, you know, let's talk about the importance of this day, the day that solidified the Sikh values of equality, bravery, and solidarity among all people, with the goal to dismantle oppressive systems and fight for justice. This is such an amazing time to highlight those goals. The brave display of spiritual and political willpower that led Guru Gobind Singh Ji to create the Khalsa in 1699 demonstrates the awesome responsibility felt by not only the Guru, but the Sikh community in combating the political and religious inequalities being exhibited in India way back then. And in reflecting on the creation of the Khalsa, I'm totally inspired by the farsightedness of Guru Gobind Singh. And I think that the bravery that was displayed way back then inspires me as I walk the halls of Congress now with the goals of equality, justice, and freedom for all. In this community, meaning our community, our Sikh community at home, I see those values embedded today just as much as back then in faith, in feeding your communities that happens from every kitchen in every Gurdwara, to the Sikhs who stand in Delhi right now at the farmers' protests, fighting for what's right in the face of adversity, just as you've been doing for over 300 years. So I stand with you in solidarity and in the idea of building the beloved community and serving humanity as one. Happy Vaisakhi, so glad to be with you, and I look forward to being with you in person next time.
We look forward to that as well. Thank you so much, Congressman Levin. And can I just say that to hear you talk about Guru Gobind Singh Ji, to talk about Langar, to talk about Seva, to talk about the farmers' protest, it really just touches, I think, a lot of the hearts of folks who are watching. So really a heartfelt happy Vaisakhi to you. And I'm glad you made it back to your apartment after voting so late.
No, I'm in my office. I still have to get back
there. Oh, you still have to?
Okay. I got to walk back there. Look, dude, my apartment doesn't look like this. But, you know, I just have to say that, I mean, the protests going on right now for farmers. I mean, I just came back from Alabama, where I rallied with the Amazon workers down there who were trying to form a union, who didn't succeed this time. But what did they accomplish? Right. You know, for the people, they're not going to go down in history as they lost an election in Amazon. You know, they're going to go down in history as having kindled a whole new era of worker organizing in this country and taking on a company like Amazon. And that's the way I look at the protests in India going on right now, to say, like, dude, how about including us in the discussion about, you know, what happens to our crops and how we sell them. And this is not going to be good for us, you know. So I'm totally in solidarity with them and with your community. And, you know, I see it all as a piece of one fabric, I guess.
And we thank you so much for that. You know, in many ways, it's a David versus Goliath fight, what you're seeing at Amazon, what you're seeing with the farmers' protest. The one thing that you can't count out, as you mentioned, Guru Gobind Singh Ji inspired a lot of people. And I know that resilience is very much alive and well in India and really across the world with everyone who's rallying in support. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. We are honored today to be joined by our next guest, who also represents us in DC. She has a history in international relations and once told me about her journey to Punjab. I am so honored to be welcoming Representative Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin.
For having me and for inviting me, and very happy New Year to everyone watching. I am indeed thrilled to be also a representative of a really lovely Gurdwara that I represent in Rochester Hills. I have been there, I have spent time there, and right before COVID, we were planning another visit there. And hopefully the next time we all see each other, we will be in person. But as I was sharing with the representative when the last time we were talking, is I did have my first experience with the Sikh religion was actually when I was 19 years old. I had been doing my junior year abroad in Kenya. I'd been working in Kenya for my junior year, and I had no money. And I said, what's the furthest I can go with the little money I have and a plane ticket? And I went in August to India for the first time. Because it sounded amazing. And besides the heat, which this good Midwestern girl had never felt in my entire life, like coming out of the airport was memorable. We went north and everyone, my friend and I said, where should we go? We asked everybody, and a ton of people told us to go to Amritsar and to the Golden Temple and to see what was going on there. And so we went by train, and we took this trip, and all I can tell you is that the opportunity to go to the Golden Temple, to be there, eating together. I mean, again, we were staying in hostels, and this was not, luxury travel. So we were eating under big tents with just what felt like thousands of people. We were touring the Golden Temple. We were experiencing and learning about the Sikh religion and the ethos of service to community. And it took me aback. I will be honest, it took me aback. I had never seen such an open religion who was welcoming us in, even though, I'm Jewish, my friend was Christian, and we were complete newcomers. And besides how stunning the actual structure is itself, it just affected me. And from then on, I really tried to educate myself. I've had many Sikh friends over the years who have helped teach me about the culture and the religion. And all I can say is I appreciate the openness in having me like here tonight, and having us in general learn about your religion and your culture. And it is one of the proudest things that I get to represent such an incredibly diverse part of Michigan. Rochester Hills has got a lot going on. And you just drive down the street where the Gurdwara is, and there's churches and all kinds of denominations. So I hope everyone has a wonderful year. I hope everyone has the opportunity to celebrate. Thank you for including me, and hopefully the next time we can touch each other and hug each other and be in each other's presence. So thanks for having me, and Happy New Year.
And eat together.
Eat together. I miss eating with I miss hugging other people, eating with other people, laughing with other people, having funny chit chat in the back of the room that isn't over Zoom, that you don't plan. All those things we all miss, and most of all, being together with family and friends. So thanks for including me.
Thank you for being here, and happy Vaisakhi.
Congresswoman, on behalf of the community, thank you for being here and always standing up for what's right. We are honored to have you here. Thank you so much. With that, I am absolutely excited to bring in our next two guests. We are going to be talking to representatives from the Sikh Coalition and SALDEF. Both are national advocacy groups for Sikh Americans. I can't wait to hear the wonderful things that they have to share. I look forward to learning a lot here in this next segment.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? We've got Kiran Kaur-Gill and Nikki Singh. So Kiran, you're from SALDEF.
Yes.
Nikki, you're from the Sikh Coalition. Thank you both for being with us today. I would just like to start that I have been a longtime fan, just deeply respect and have a deep sense of admiration for everything you're doing to educate, mobilize, and inspire Sikhs around the world. Thank you so much, and happy Vaisakhi.
Yes, happy Vaisakhi.
Thank you so much for having us. Happy Vaisakhi.
And I think I heard Governor Whitmer earlier talk about the importance of getting the COVID vaccine. I just want to share I got mine earlier today, so that was my Vaisakhi, my Vaisakhi present, I guess. So I would encourage everybody to do that as well. It was an easy process.
Absolutely. We want to jump right into things. When we're talking about Vaisakhi, I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned that have stood the test of time. What would you say, when you're looking at Vaisakhi and the principles, how we can integrate that into our very modern, busy pandemic life?
Sure, absolutely. I don't know who this is going to, but I guess I'll start. I think, when we think about Vaisakhi and we think about Sikhism, there's the two components. There's the internal, spirituality and that journey of development. But then there's this component of serving the community, of upholding civil rights, religious freedoms, standing up for the oppressed. And you can really apply that in an array of different circumstances. In SALDEF, we look at it from a policy angle, so things like immigration, civil rights, now anti-Asian hate, even as we talked about earlier, the previous speaker, the farmers' protests. So as we go about our daily lives, I think it's important to really look at the issues that are here with us in this country, in the community and abroad, and see how we can raise our voice for ourselves, for our community, and for other communities, as Sikh history has shown us throughout the years.
Absolutely. Nikki, what do you think?
I absolutely second everything that Kiran said. And I'll also, reference an article that one of my colleagues, Simranjeet Singh, wrote, where he talks about how Vaisakhi isn't just a holiday or, just one day to be uniquely holy, but rather it's an occasion for celebrating the Sikh community's growth, for recalling a set of shared values, collective memories. In both its cultural and religious context, Vaisakhi is fundamentally about community progress and celebration. So that's something that we definitely try to keep in mind.
And when we're talking about Vaisakhi and we're talking about the celebrations, you just mentioned, Kiran, that you got your vaccine shot today. Hopefully more of us will be getting our vaccines so that by this time next year we can celebrate together. Do you think, for me personally, the pandemic has really made some things very crystal clear? It kind of took away the noise, took away the clutter. And I feel a lot of introspection happening for the Sikh community when we're looking inward, at the values that define us. How do you think we could be inspired through Vaisakhi and through the principles that we learn through service and serving others?
I think the principles alone are inspirational. And I was so pleased to hear your elected officials talk about the importance of Vaisakhi and Guru Gobind Singh. And SALDEF was actually formed 25 years ago to raise Sikh awareness, raise the Sikh American voice, increase representation, and increase civic and political participation. And it sounds like you guys have great Sikh awareness, at least among the elected officials here on this panel. But I think, the previous speaker talked about going to the Golden Temple, going to Amritsar, and being inspired. These are universal values. These are values that make our communities better. And I think that is something that, a lot of times, we think about and we talk about our value systems in the context of our Gurdwara within our community. But if we talk to the broader society, to non-Sikhs, there is a universality in those values. And I think that is, important to understand. And one of the things I wanted to share, actually, and I know a couple of the previous speakers talked about the importance of representation. One of the programs SALDEF has is called the Sikh Lead Program. And it's a program, we run it in DC, where we place Sikh students in legislative internships on the Hill. And they get the experience of understanding the legislative process and a firsthand experience of understanding government. We actually have expanded that program. We actually had a regional version of that program in New Jersey for the last couple of years. Last year expanded it to New Mexico, and this year we are expanding it to 15 states, which include Michigan.
Yeah!
So I'm really excited. This is our first year for the Sick Lead Regional program in Michigan. Representative Puri has been instrumental in helping get that off the ground. So I just wanted to share that, because I do believe it's really important to have diverse voices at the table and for the Sikh American community to raise our voice as well.
And Nikki, for you, you know, when we're talking about Vaisakhi and the principles and sort of that introspection, and then also, you know, getting people aware of what Sikhi and Sikhs are all about, you know, what's your takeaway?
Yeah, I would say, you know, a lot of our organizational inspiration comes from the Sangat, comes from the community. And so, you know, right now, we can't talk about Vaisakhi without talking about its connection to the harvest in Punjab. And that means that farmers are top of mind for Sikhs around the world. And so, you know, we see the farmers that have been out there protesting for months and take a lot of our inspiration for them, farmers that are remaining in Jardikla, in eternal optimism. And so, you know, organizationally, we've heard from community members all across the US who wanted to express their concerns to elected officials. So we drafted a model resolution language that has been adopted by state and local governments all across the US, as well as created a tool that allows individuals to contact their members of Congress. And so we've had more than 6,700 people across the country use this tool to make their voices heard. And so many of Michigan's wonderful representatives, including Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Stevens, Congresswoman Dingell, who I know we just heard from earlier, and then also Congressman Andy Levin read a statement about the farmers' protest on the House floor. And I know there's been local groups like Seva for Everybody, who I think are speaking a little bit later, that have just done some really great advocacy. And then obviously Representative Puri and all of you for hosting this event. So I think, yeah, just really, you know, always trying to bring it back to the community and take our inspiration from all the wonderful work that everyone's doing and supporting.
Now, I do have a question for you. So as a journalist, I'm always keeping an eye, you know, on how we are, you know, as a Sikh community pushing back against stigma, stereotypes, misrepresentation. And I think both of your organizations do an amazing job calling things out in real time. I think elected officials are one part, journalists and the media are another. And, you know, I'm always open to constructive criticism. And I hear the very valid criticism against the industry as a whole. When it comes to Sikhs specifically, you know, what is it that, are you seeing a change? Are you seeing representation different at all? Are you seeing more Sikhs at the table? I'd be interested to know both of your viewpoints on that.
Yeah, sure. So you mentioned reporters and journalists earlier. So we actually organizationally have created a reporter's guide in conjunction with religious news services. And so it's a free resource that's available on our website that reporters can use to learn more about the Sikh community, but also make sure that when Sikhs are being written about in the media, that it's done so accurately. And then I think in general, you know, we do a lot of civic engagement trainings with community members. We'll have people reach out to us and say, you know, I'm interested in connecting with an elected official about XYZ issue, but I'm not sure what to say or who to speak with. And so we'll provide those trainings, help make those introductions. But I think especially around the farmers' protests, we've seen so much strength from the community around wanting to do advocacy and do more. And I think even across the US, we've seen representation across government increase. So that's been really great to see.
Yeah, and I would say likewise, you know, SALDEF has done work around media training for the community as well. But SALDEF is also tracking some of the issues that we've seen related to Sikh representation and raising the Sikh American voice on social media, for example. We have seen, unfortunately, a censorship. There was censorship of #Sikh on Twitter, on Instagram. We've seen, unfortunately, disinformation narratives coming out around different you know, different events related to the farmers' protest and other Sikh holidays. So that is something that we are tracking, and that is why I think it is so important to have Sikh voices, you know, represented on Capitol Hill, in state and local legislative offices, so that we can share the Sikh American experience and you know, fight back against some of the stuff that we're seeing, and really share our own narrative and share our own story.
Yeah, and also, if I could just add on to that, I think, yeah, that's a great point. And I think, you know, a lot of the time people can be intimidated to run for office, but there are also a lot of local opportunities like hate crimes task forces or school boards and things like that, where it's easier for people to get involved, and the Sikh voice and perspective there is so important. So I would encourage local community members to find those task forces and boards and get involved.
Really glad that's one of the ways I actually first got involved as a volunteer for SALDEF. So I think that's an awesome point, Nikki, and it just furthered my my engagement. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's amazing with everything we're seeing with the pandemic, how important school boards are. There are various ways to get involved. And then eventually we can make it up to, State Rep Puri.
Our goals.
Our goals, right? Yeah.
Our goal is to be Representative Puri.
Definitely need different role models in life. But I will say that 3 of my role models are right here. I mean, this is so cool. If we just soak this in for a minute, we have just 3 young, empowered Sikh women just talking about advocacy. I just think this is so great. This is exactly what we're trying to do. Kieran, thank you for bringing up Sikh Lead. I am absolutely proud to host a Sikh Lead intern in my office this summer. I think it's just vital for our community to continue to find ways to get engaged, just echoing what both of you were saying. So both of your organizations are doing so much for our community. And so just thank you for being leaders in that space.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, that was fantastic. I could listen to them all day.
That is awesome. And I think one thing we'll throw in the chat, if Sikh Coalition and SALDEF are around, please just put your contact information if anyone from the community does want to get more engaged with the organization or connected, just how
and follow them on social media, because that's where I've learned a lot from both organizations, especially on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
Yes. So just again, thank you for all your advocacy. We are going to be bringing in, we're going to switch gears a little bit and go back to the elected official here, but we're going to bring in some elected officials from our legislature here. 2 of my colleagues are coming up. They are both in the Senate. Senator Dayna Polehanki and Senator Stephanie Chang. Both of these women are just so incredible at what they do. They are mentors and role models for me of just standing up for what's right. They're both just doing so much. And so to both of you, thank you so much for being here on behalf of the community. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Rep Puri.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, and thanks for organizing this amazing event. Dayna, do you want to go first?
Sure, Stephanie. So hello, everyone. My name is Dayna Polehanki, and I represent the 7th Senate District here in Michigan. So I'm a state senator, and this includes Canton Township, all of Canton Township, home of one of the largest Sikh communities in Michigan and proud home of 3 Sikh Gurdwaras. And I visited a couple, and I think that's the most Gurdwaras. Sorry, I have a little problem saying Gurdwara.
You got it. You got it.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. In Michigan. So 3's a lot, and they're beautiful, wonderful, and I hope there are a lot of my friends out there. I can't see you from Canton Township. I'm so proud and happy to be your state senator, and I'm thrilled to help you mark the 322nd year of formally organized Sikhism. And I want to recognize also Tej Karan Singh from Gurdwara Singh Sabha. I was so pleased, I don't know if it's been a couple years now, to invite Mr. Singh to do the invocation with a beautiful Sikh prayer for the state Senate. And, every day there's an invocation, and it's mostly a Christian perspective. And I was happy to shake things up a little bit by inviting my friend. And it was wonderful. It was beautiful. People came up to me, senators, afterward and said, oh, wow. One senator said, I would love to learn more because I have Sikh constituents in my district. And I would also like to say just very quickly that I knew Ranjeev and Needy before he was a state representative, before all the fame happened. And they're just wonderful, the cutest family ever, and just smart and caring and giving. And I just couldn't be prouder to call them friends. So also, hey, when I have an intern opening, we pay our interns too, by the way, in our office. I'll be looking to you, Ranjeev, to maybe get someone from your pool.
Great.
Thank you so much, Senator Polehanki.
That is amazing. And I will echo the cutest family ever.
I know.
Cutest family ever. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much to Rep. Puri for hosting this and Priya for emceeing. Happy Vaisakhi to everyone who's watching. I hope that this celebration of the spring harvest and the birth of organized Sikhism brings everyone an amazing season of joy and happiness. My name is Stephanie Chang, and I'm the state senator for District 1, which includes a lot of Detroit and a lot of downriver. So not probably a large Sikh community in my district. However, I have been to the Gurdwara in Plymouth many, many years ago to do voter registration. I think in like 2008 or 2010. Anyway, but it's been a while. I would love to come back. But I just wanted to echo Congressman Levin's comments on just how important it is that we continue to shine a light on the incredible voices that are rising in India right now with the farmer protest and people who have been there for literally months. And also really want to point out that we have to continue to talk about the connection between defending the right to peacefully protest in India without being brutalized, and that same right in America that unfortunately we're still also working to defend here in our country. And that's just so important. But I also really want to thank Representative Puri and the Sikh community for being such an amazing ally to the East Asian community right now as we continue to confront hate during the COVID-19 pandemic. When I mentioned to some of my colleagues that I was going to work on a resolution condemning anti-Asian hate crimes and rhetoric and discrimination during the COVID pandemic, and I asked who might want to introduce it in the House. Ranjeev Puri stepped up right away and said that he wanted to partner on this. So thank you for your amazing partnership. I think that it has been, pretty powerful to just hear you talk about the connection between the hate that's ongoing right now and the really unfortunate hate and far too many deaths that happened, in the Sikh and South Asian and Arab American and Muslim communities post 9/11. And so that connection is very real. It's very powerful and unfortunate that we have to make that connection. But I just really wanted to, from the bottom of my heart, thank Representative Puri for your leadership. And thank you to the Sikh community for this amazing celebration. I was showing my daughters earlier, they were watching the Bhangra dances and they loved it. So we'll have to get them to see a live performance one day. But thank you again for hosting this, and happy Vaisakhi.
And Senator Chang, if I may, the last two stories I covered of you, I wasn't actually able to do the interview, but one, you were juggling your baby after you had just come home from Lansing, but you still did the interview. And then your very moving speech in downtown Detroit following the massacre of 8 in Atlanta, including 6 Asian women. Even in the midst of your heartbreak, you did mention violence against South Asians following 9/11. And I just wanted to say, since now I have the chance to talk to you, that your words were very moving, and I think it's just having a huge impact on building bridges. All three of you, really.
Yes, thank you both. Thank you both for your words. Senator Chang, I think we're all united in this fight. I've, made it very clear that I think that hate has no bounds, and the same people that hate against one community, the same ones that oppress other communities. And, when one community is knocked down, we all are. And so it is on us absolutely to highlight and uplift all communities in Michigan. It's what makes Michigan so great. Thank you both for just being champions in that fight. And thank you both so much for being here on behalf of the community.
Thank you.
Thank you. They are both so great to work with.
I know. I just felt so bad that I couldn't do the interview myself with Senator Chang. She was literally like juggling her baby and was like, I just came home from Lansing. Still did the interview.
They've and they both alluded to my family. I want to make it very clear. My family is adorable. That's because my kids look like my wife. And so I'm very blessed in that arena. But to get back to business here, listen, there are so many people we wanted to bring on, and so we are trying our best to get everyone in. Some people couldn't join us here, but there was a group of organizations around southeastern Michigan that wanted to share a video with a message on Vaisakhi and Sikhism and kind of the relevance of that. So we're going to go ahead and I think play that video right now and then get back to our guests.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Happy Vaisakhi to everyone. Vaisakhi is celebrated across the nation of India in different states, across different religions and cultures. Vaisakhi has not only religious significance, it has ample of cultural significance across the nation of India.
Vaisakhi has a very special significance in Sikh community. On this auspicious day, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, our 10th Guru, created and formulated Khalsa as a warrior to protect religious freedom and equality among all. Guru Gobind Singh Ji had a deep respect for Khalsa and stated, there is no difference between the true Guru and the Sangat. He said, Khalsa mero roop hai khas, Khalse mein ho karu nivas.
Today, April 13th, Vaisakhi is being celebrated all over the world. And also, I want to take this opportunity from my family's behalf and also from Michigan Punjabi community's behalf to congratulate everyone on this wonderful day of Vaisakhi. We also want to take this opportunity to congratulate our community on this wonderful day, and we also want to thank Governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, and all the other elected officials who are celebrating this Vaisakhi virtually with all of us today. Thank you.
And we would also like to thank our own Ranjeev Puri for organizing the event, and also special thanks to Priya Mann. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki.
Oh, that was so nice.
That was great. I had not had a chance to see that. That was very great. It's just awesome to continue to learn all the various perspectives out there and just interpretations. And so thank you all for sharing. I saw Karan Gill in that video. He is an institution here. I know every year we look forward to the Cade Mela in my district in Canton, Michigan. So I don't know if we're going to get one this year or not, but we'll have to follow up and kind of figure out what the plan is for that.
Oh, for sure.
But as we kind of move along here, I would like to introduce my friend here, Anand Kumar from MI India. Many people here in southeastern Michigan are very familiar with his website. It's become a beacon of information for the South Asian community. Anand, thank you so much for joining our Vaisakhi celebration.
Thank you, Representative Puri. I have to say that it's really hard to follow the kind of speakers that we've been watching and hearing. Just incredible. Greetings, Priya. Hope you're doing well.
Hi.
And, hello. And good evening. Happy Vaisakhi, everybody, on this event. I am delighted to be a part of the celebration, and I believe this is the first time, and thank you for that. As we all know, Vaisakhi it marks a beginning, a new year. And let's hope that this upcoming year is filled with peace and relief as we continue to battle the coronavirus. On behalf of the Michigan Indian community, I want to extend Vaisakhi wishes to the Sikh community. I live in Canton, and a lot of my neighbors are, and Ranjeev is like, maybe a Hail Mary from here. And this is also a day of celebration for people from several parts of India. Ugadi, Gudi Padwa, Tamil Puthandu, Vishu, Navabarsha, and Rangoli Bihu. So it's a huge, big holiday for all of us. And again, it's great to be here. Just a few words about MI India. It was founded 21 years ago to bring the community together and keep us all connected. Back then, as all of you know, information was shared only during weekend get-togethers with our friends. Internet helped change the landscape incredibly, and MI India was a pioneer in leveraging that. It all started in Canton, Michigan. I do want to acknowledge that community support and engagement is really the single biggest factor behind MI India's success. Sincere thanks to everybody for that. As you all know, MI India has a lot of features, including events, movies, and platform to buy and sell things, and a business directory. We have 400 pages of content and are ranked as one of the top ethnic websites in America based on traffic. We're open every day to serve the community and helping small businesses thrive. It's one of our key objectives. And with the current scenario with COVID, it's our top priority to get our restaurant owners get back on their feet. Just switching topics, I really want to acknowledge all the elected officials from our community. State representatives Padma Kuppa, Ranjeev Puri, and Sri Tanedar, Pittsfield Township Supervisor Mandy Grewal, and Canton Trustee Tanya Ganguly. We know that your job is very demanding, but your commitment to service is truly commendable, and thank you for that. I also want to extend the community's gratitude to several unsung heroes who make a difference every day. And I have to call out Nidhi Puri, because I know how hard she worked to get Ranjeev elected. And probably she's the reason why we're all here today.
100%. I second that.
Yeah, that's the truth. I've seen her. I live in Canton, so I know that.
I'm glad everyone recognizes it, because that's absolutely the truth.
Yes, and just one more topic I want to cover is the COVID crisis and how it brought us all together. Our community members came together, and MI India was a part of it as well. We provided masks, groceries, meals, care packages, and now vaccines to thousands of Michigan residents, irrespective of who they were, where they lived. In fact, citizens in Inkster, Flint, Wayne, and Detroit were beneficiaries. And also want to acknowledge the sacrifices made by our healthcare workers. In closing, I want to thank Representative Ranjeev Puri for inviting me and organizing this event. Great event. Thank you. And also, I want to acknowledge, in addition to Nidhi, Hannah Chapman. I think she did a fantastic job. The instructions were so clear. I really want to acknowledge her help. And hopefully next year we'll meet in person, or maybe a hybrid event, in person and virtual, so that people that can't make it can watch the show. In the meantime, wish you all a safe and healthy future ahead, the next coming months. And again, thank you. Happy Vaisakhi to all.
Thank you so much. That was incredible.
That was great. And MI India has just always been a resource. And so I check if anyone is in the need, it's always a valuable place to go for information. So thank you, Anand.
I'm trying to figure out who has a bigger fan club, you or Nidhi.
Well, I think it's pretty clear who has
Clear.
We don't have
All right.
to.
Well, I am so excited to introduce our next speakers, the Detroit Indian Women's Association, Alka Srivastava and Savita Monroe. Oh, all right. Looking nice, ladies. How are we?
I have here with me Alka Srivastava and also Badisha Sinha, and also Lalita is joining us virtually, obviously. We are very happy to be here. Happy Vaisakhi to everyone.
Happy Vaisakhi from all the divas.
We are a nonprofit organization. We are Detroit Indian Women's Association, and we're known as DIWA. And we're a 501c3. Our mission and goal is to empower women and from all ethnic background and help women through our 4 pillars of self. and to support, educate, lead, focus, and most importantly, help the communities through our passion and seva, which is the greatest virtue in not only in Sikhism, but also in many nonprofits around the world. We were established in April 2019, and we have identified the needs of the community and have dedicated ourselves to seva. And seva is something that obviously that all nonprofits do, and it is biggest part of any nonprofit. The pandemic also brought us, heartaches, but also brought us a lot of opportunities to serve the community. Through the pandemic, we made lots of masks, 3,000 of masks.
Wow.
We've served over 1,000 meals with collaboration from Myers, organization like Myers, and other organizations who are present here within our group here, My India, Savi, and MICS, who will be going on next. And with help of our supporters and members, we extended our reach to much needed youth organizations and donated over $1,500 worth of hygiene packages to organizations such as Alternative for Girls, and donated over 300 meals to the Detroit Youth Boxing Club for their reopen.
Oh.
Yeah, so during the pandemic, we were very busy. When we also looked at our entrepreneur community who were struggling, and we saw the need to extend our seva to women entrepreneurs community, and launched our first ever platform, such as Women Artists Week and Indian Fashion Week platform, which did not exist prior. So we really helped the community and brought the community together. From this, we're hoping to launch our first ever International Fashion, Beauty, and Event Council, which is much needed and need to be supported in the creative industry. And now over the 2 years, with the help of our members and supporters, we have raised over $4,000 worth of funds for for breast cancer. And even it's not just for an organization, but for also an individual. That is our goal, to hope to touch and do seva for the individuals as well as the community. Our education community and our education committee has brought up topics with wellness in mind. Also brought up topics that are not talked about a lot, which is in the South Asian community and in our Asian community. We really don't speak about LGBTQ, so we really are trying to make that as a mental health, also very positive environment for that community.
And ladies, I just want to say that you guys are doing so much in the community, whether it is empowering women, helping entrepreneurs, giving back. It's really those types of contributions that help elevate the profile of South Asians. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. I think one of the last events I actually emceed in person was a DIWA event. And I'm telling you, the atmosphere, people just want to give, they don't know how. And you're definitely an outlet so that people can help others. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing and looking so fab while you do it. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for all that you're doing for our community here.
Yeah, and Vaisakhi is a great celebration for honoring Mother Earth. We are
absolutely
very good at for our farmers community. It has been
100%. We want to wish you a very happy Vaisakhi and can't wait to see you at the next event.
Thank you very much for having us. And
thanks, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my God.
Now I want to wear some Indian clothes.
Well, not only that, I mean, that organization is doing so much. It's always great to partner with them and take on things. And so with that, we're bringing on another organization. Right next is going to be the Michigan Indian Community Services. It's an organization that started kind of during the pandemic. Radhika Shukla from the organization is representing them. Radhika, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ranjeev. It's such an honor being here. I'm Radhika Shukla. As you introduced me, I'm the Vice Chair of the Indo-Democratic Caucus, working at Microsoft, and also a board member of MIX. Happy Vaisakhi to all. Today is a time to reflect upon Guru Gobind Singh Ji's values. And I'm going to talk about how MIX as a non-profit is taking that forward. MIX is the Michigan chapter of Indian American Community Service, an umbrella organization whose mission is to provide crisis relief services to the community. We are engaged in several deep impact service projects while remaining laser focused in uniting the community. And we heard that from all our elected leaders today, how important, how critical that is. Unite, spread love, and stop the hate. MIX is a collective initiative that brings together over 50 plus organizations and their leaders with that very vision. There are currently 350 plus volunteers, of which 75 plus are youth volunteers. Some of our key critical projects that I want to just highlight quickly over here. Senior citizen care, we were there for them and we continue to be there for them in times of need. Those are our most vulnerable population. International student support, small business care. We also established the medical professionals group, wherein a group of physicians joined hands and started a hotline to help address any medical concerns related to COVID-19. We actually joined hands with India Task Force in Chicago as well. We embarked upon the mask initiative, providing masks and PPEs to healthcare workers and needy and homeless shelters. Just a few data points there. We raised over $30,000 for this initiative.
Wow.
10,000 KN95s, 5,000 handmade fabric masks. Most of us learned sewing during the pandemic, Priya. So it has its good and bad, I must say. But we embarked on a community-wide distribution. We also distributed 400 weekly meals to Detroit school children. And the most recent and impactful, initiative was the COVID vaccine drive that we conducted in collaboration with Menard Pharmacy and various temples. We administered vaccine to over 1,200 people across Michigan. Thank you, Rep. Puri, for being there in person and supporting one of our vaccine drives. We continue to embark upon organic farming, Go Green initiatives, webinars around general well-being, immunity, diet, weight loss, visa and travel, business issues, yoga classes, and we also do a Mix Got Talent monthly fundraiser. So Priya, if you ever want to do that Bhangra or Gidda, you are most invited. And
Okay, will you give me some lessons beforehand though? Like we need a practice run here.
Absolutely, I'm a choreographer, and you know what? Maybe Ranjeev can give us those lessons because you don't know he is a pro Bhangra dancer. So,
really? I'm learning new things every day.
Maybe if this was 10 years ago and my knees didn't hurt, I'd be more than happy.
Well,
but
you got to do yoga.
You got to do yoga. I can do it. I mean, listen, what Mix, better known as Mix, is doing is just phenomenal. Just the diversity and spectrum of programming and content they're putting out, just really helping our community. It's always great to partner with you. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that there are other vaccination drives planned in the future.
Yes, there are absolutely. And thank you so much, Ranjeev, for being there in person. I mean, that just shows your tireless dedication to our community. You never cease to amaze us. You're incredible. And your passion to serve is actually inspiring and contagious.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I don't know.
That's the only type of contagious we want right now.
That's right. Contagious is not the operative word these days. But again,
thank you so much.
Thank you for being here and thank you for representing the
Michigan. Actually, just one last word. Thank you to all our elected officials for their tireless service, and especially our Honorable Governor for participating in our festival celebrations and wishing everyone a happy Ugadi, a happy Navratri, a happy Puri Parva as well. Happy Vaisakhi, Guruji ka Khalsa, Guruji ki Fateh. God bless.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Radhika. She is just so great to always be. I mean, that energy, I don't know.
I was thinking the same thing, and I was like, when does this woman sleep?
I don't think she does. I don't think she does.
I don't think so.
But another group of people that require a lot of energy are my colleagues in the Michigan House. And so I am honored to be bringing on a number of people. There were plenty of that were trying to come on, but it's just it's really hard. Let's see if this all works out. I think we have a number of them on the screen here. So just thank you to everyone from our community. Just thank you for coming on and celebrating Vaisakhi with us. We'll just quickly kind of go around and introduce everybody. We can start with Representative Stone.
Thanks, Rep. Puri. My name is Lori Stone. I'm the state representative for the 28th House District, which is Warren and Centerline. proud member of the Asian Pacific American Caucus to represent the diverse community that I come from. And as a teacher, I love to learn something new every day. And today, this has been a wonderfully enlightening experience. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Thank you. And I'm just going the order of my screen here, but Representative Koopa.
Thank you so much, Ranjeev, for organizing this. Representative Puri, as we now call you, it's been quite a journey for me as the first Indian immigrant in the legislature to have you and Representative Tanedar also join. Yesterday for me was Ugadi, and it's really amazing to know that this whole week there are so many Indian American holidays that we're celebrating, from Gudi Padwa and Vaisakhi. Happy Vaisakhi to you as well, Priya Kaur Mann, yeah, Priya Kaur, you're
you gotta rock it. You gotta rock it.
You gotta rock it.
Thank
I also want to. One of the holidays that people missed was the one of Kashmiri Hindus, Navre, which is also around this time. Something very important. We forget a lot about the Kashmiri Hindu population. But anyway, it's really important for us to celebrate our diversity because that is our strength. And I'm really honored to be here with all of my colleagues who represent so many Asian Americans, especially at this time when we are seeing so much violence and hate directed towards the Asian American community. It's good to celebrate and be strong together.
Thank you so much, Rep. Koopa, for just highlighting all of that, and introducing the rest of our colleagues here. Rep. Breen from the Novi area, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Representative Puri, and I want to thank you and also Representative Koopa, who have been so inviting by taking me along to so many celebrations and educating me about so many things about your different cultures. I'm proud to represent the 38th District, which is Novi, Walled Lake, the Oakland County portion of Northville, South Lyon and Lyon Township, also a proud member of the Asian Pacific American Caucus. And I have many, many Sikhs in my community, and I want to wish each and every one of them a happy Vaisakhi Day.
Thank you. And my good buddy, Rep. Kolzar, my neighbor to the north here. Thank you, Matt, for joining.
Hey, thank you, Rep. Puri, for having me. I want to wish everybody a happy Vaisakhi. I am State Representative Matt Kolazar. My district is Northville, Plymouth, in the eastern portion of Canton. I also am very proud to say that my district is home to a Gurdwara in Plymouth Township. I have been lucky enough to participate in Seva as well at that Gurdwara, and I am so happy and so proud to be here. And by the way, I got to say, Ranjeev is doing a fantastic job. I take partial credit for him, as I was one of the people who encouraged him to run for office, and I'm so glad he's here with us.
It's true. It's absolutely true. It's an honor to serve with you. Hopefully, we can start carpooling a little bit more together. But with that, one of my new friends, Representative Morse out of the Kalamazoo area, thank you for joining.
Okay, sorry for the delay. I'm Christine Morris, and I bring you Vaisakhi greetings from the west side of Michigan. I'm in Kalamazoo County, the 61st District, which is the city of Portage, and the townships of Ashtabenow, Prairie Run, Schoolcraft, and Texas. We, too, have a very diverse community here, and I was thrilled to be asked to be a part of this celebration. We really need to make sure that we are honoring our Asian American friends and making sure that we are stopping the hate that is just not appropriate. And I look forward to working with all of you to do what we can to make sure we are lifting everybody up.
Thank you so much, Representative Morse. I want to make a full disclaimer here. There was a number of our colleagues that wanted to join, but we're only capped at like 7 or 8 people on the screen. And so I feel bad that a lot of my colleagues couldn't join. It was kind of like the Hunger Games trying to get in here. So thank you all for the next person is Rep. Tanedar, someone I don't think needs a lot of introduction. But Shri, thank you so much here, for joining us in Vaisakhi here.
Ranjeev, what a show. What a great show. Priya, great job. I am so excited. This must be one of the best Vaisakhi celebration I have seen. You've taken a great use of the virtual platform. So I bring a lot of love and happy Vaisakhi Day from city of Detroit. That's what I represent. I'm Representative Sri Thanedar, and I am just so honored to work with you every day, Ranjeev. And thank you so much. And thanks the Sikh community. I'm an entrepreneur, and I appreciate the entrepreneurial spirit and skills in the Sikh community. I've seen many of them, my own friends personally, and they are outstanding. So congratulations, and let's keep celebrating our diversity, because that's what makes our nation the greatest nation on earth. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining and giving us some of your time tonight. I know it's late, but I wanted just to highlight the tremendous work coming out of our caucus. So thank you all for joining, and we'll see you at work tomorrow.
See ya.
Bright and early.
Right.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing, Ranjeev. I think that's a testament. You know, this is why representation matters. This is why it is so important to have people who look like you and have a seat at the table. So I just want to reiterate, thank you again for everything that you are doing to bring a voice to the Sikh and Indian diaspora in Metro Detroit.
Thank you. You know, and honestly, I think the central tenet of what we're learning tonight is just that Sikh values are no different than the broader societal values, and that it's important that we all just continue to find ways to come together and celebrate our diversity. Another organization that we're so excited to have on today is Seva for Everybody. They are doing so much around the Metro Detroit area and in Michigan. Harman Singh, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Ranjeev. I appreciate you having me. Thank you, Priya. Really appreciate you having us on and putting this event together. Yeah, so Seva for Everybody is a community-based organization. So we focus on basic needs support for residents of Detroit and mentorship for youth. What we've really done is try and focus on building relationships with organizations in the city of Detroit to fill the gaps where they need resources or support. And so our work, you know, is a reflection of what Guru Gobind Singh Ji established on this day in 1699, right? So Sikhs are to have empathy, known as Daya, so that we can pursue justice, known as Dharam. To pursue justice, you must have courage, known as Himmat, and commitment, known as Mokam. And that in and of itself is the path to sovereignty, which is Sahib. And so on this day in 1699, Guru Gobind Singh Ji declared war against all systems of oppression, injustice, and tyranny. And so our seva is not just about putting band-aids on institutional failures. It's really about understanding why these inequalities exist and what we can do to challenge them to the core. And so, again, I appreciate you all having me on. All power to the Khalsa, all power to the farmers in India, fighting and dying for their rights. And to all the reps who support the farmers, we want to thank you for your support. To those who have not, this is a matter of human dignity and human rights, and we implore you to be on the right side of history.
And Harman, one thing I want to say, you know, I grew up in the burbs. Now I live in the city of Detroit, and I've seen seva in my lifetime. I've participated in, you know, in a very small, limited fashion. But to see the seva that your organization is doing in Detroit, you know, not in the prettiest of places, but with your hearts open and with the meals and the gear that you're giving to folks and just the gratitude I see on their faces from your social media. For anybody who's watching, Seva for Everybody is the one social media account you should be following. The work that you're doing is incredible. It really exemplifies what it means to be a Sikh. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya. This is honestly, all of our work is a reflection of our community, right? The folks that have been donating, supporting, coming out to our events, we truly appreciate it. And, you know, Detroit's our community. This is our home. This is our backyard. And so we're going to be there to support always.
Love it. Thank you so much. And happy Vaisakhi.
Thank you. Happy Vaisakhi, everyone.
Harman, thanks for being on. Happy Vaisakhi.
All right. Well, we are moving right along.
We are. We're surprisingly on time. And so I know we've gone through a lot. You know, the next guest here is actually a very special friend of mine, someone who has been representing our community for a long time. That is Supervisor Mandy Gariwal from Pittsfield Township. Mandy, thank you so much for joining.
Hey, Mandy. Oh, you're muted, dear. I think you're muted. Do we have you? Yeah, this is the one thing I'm not going to miss.
It's okay.
We got you. We got you. It's okay. Well, maybe it might be, well, you know what? If we're at, you know, right at the end line here, and this is our first technical difficulty. We've done pretty well.
All right, we'll give her a second to kind of figure that out.
We will get back to you. We will get back to you, Mandy. All right. Well, you know, stuff happens. It's okay. It's 2021.
We made it pretty far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're so close to the finish line. Oh, maybe she might. Well, you know what? How about this? While we're working out the technical difficulties, you know, the one thing we've been talking about is representation matters. And this type of Vaisakhi celebration is the first of its kind. And it wouldn't be possible without your hard work, without your efforts. And the one thing that really made a huge impact, I mean, you made it to Sikh Expo's page. A lot of people are turning their sights on you as a real leader in the Sikh community. It was a speech that you gave on the floor of the legislature. And you know, I know you're very modest, but if we could, is there any way we could play a portion of it? Because I think that it was absolutely phenomenal. And for every young person to see somebody like you up there talking about the tenets of Sikhi, it was just absolutely inspiring.
I had no idea we had that video. So this is
do we? I know. I'm really hoping we do.
As the first elected Sikh American in Michigan legislators' history, I am proud to represent over 30 million followers worldwide. Today's resolution, H.R. 74, would designate April as Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month in the state of Michigan. Sikhs are known for their bravery and leadership and will always be there for you when needed. In fact, a fundamental tenet of Sikhism is to stand up for injustice anywhere, and especially for those who are marginalized and don't have a voice. Sikhs are notably known for their turbans and long beards and are often, unfortunately, victims of ignorance and hate. But the turban is often misunderstood. Traditionally, a turban was worn by royalty like a crown. It is worn with a tremendous amount of pride. It is a signal to others that if you are ever in need, you can always find a Sikh to help. In fact, Sikhs do not take the principle of service or seva lightly. It is a way of life. If you are ever in a moment of need, regardless of your faith, regardless of your background, you are welcomed into a Sikh Gurdwara at any time for a warm meal and refuge. Sikh Americans pursue diverse professions and make rich contributions to society, to social, cultural, and economic vibrancy right here in Michigan, including contributions to our great state in agriculture, IT, small business, hospitality, trucking, medicine, technology, and many, many others. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Are you surprised? Those are your words.
Well, I mean, I was just shocked that we had that video. That just caught me off guard. But listen,
you know what, Ranjeev, if I could, because I know you don't like to toot your own horn. I mean, that was revolutionary in the sense of seeing a young Sikh elected official who worked so hard to get to where he is today, representing Sikhs there. Just from the bottom of my heart, you know, I became a journalist because there was nobody who looked like me when I was growing up on television. And now to see an elected official who looks like you. I mean, didn't you say you were just doing Reading Month in March? And there were little boys and girls who were like, hey, I know your name. Your name is like mine.
That's true. And honestly, that was a moment, a seminal moment that just touched my heart. But I mean, I take my cues from you. I mean, you have just shattered so many glass ceilings. And so it is just great to be in the presence of just another community leader. And so just thank you for what you're doing for our community as well. You know, it just, I think the voices of tonight just are unified in the sense that we need to come together and continue to lift up all communities. And so if I can be any part of that, I'm honored to do so.
100%.
I did see that Supervisor Gariwal did join again. We're going to try one more time.
You have to. She's the best.
And let's see.
Oh.
No, sorry. So I'm unsure as to kind of what's happening, but you know, Supervisor Gariwal has just been phenomenal. She's been just in public service for so long. She's been a mentor to me. I've been able to call her and just bounce so many ideas off of her, and she just had so many ideas for this event. So just it's really a shame that's not working out.
And if I may, I think one of the tenets of Sikhism is the pedestal we put our elders on for good reason. She has paved the way with her long career as a public servant to make it possible for you and I to realize our dreams. Now, granted, I'm from Canada, so my journey was a little bit different, but nevertheless, these are the folks, our elders, who we really, need to honor. And thank you so much, Mandy. I wish your mic was working because I love hanging on to every one of your words. And if I may just say quickly, thank you so much, Ranjeev, for having me in some small way be a part of this. It really was an honor. And to everybody who watched, happy Vaisakhi, happy, I don't want to mispronounce this, Chatra Navratri, and of course, Ramadan Mubarak. This is a celebration for our Hindu, Muslim, and Sikh brothers and sisters.
Thank you so much for joining, Priya. As I mentioned in the beginning, you were, just essential for this event to happen. So just thank you for joining, sharing your talents with us, and kind of facilitating this conversation tonight. I am absolutely honored to be able to play a role in setting this up. Just thank you to all of our special guests. I know it's not easy to take time away, especially on a weekday evening, but just thank you for everyone for coming and just sharing the celebration. I did mention earlier that it's not the same like years past, and I completely understand that. Let's hope that next year we can all meet in person and do this right. But just thank you to all of the people that tuned in. We had over 500 people sign up.
Wow.
Just incredible for what this means for our community. I'd be remiss. I think a lot of people did it for me, but I have to thank my wife for just taking care of everything behind the scenes. I have two small boys who, without her, would be on top of me and kind of wrecking this entire thing tonight. And so all credit to her. And so just thank you for that. So many people from the community stepped up to help. And as I mentioned during the event, listen, if I could, we would have brought in probably another 100 people, but we're trying our best. We do have a special video montage of just community leaders from around Metro Detroit, around Michigan, that wanted to share their kind wishes of Vaisakhi. And so as we close out tonight, we're going to end with that video montage. And again, just thank you so much for everyone for joining and bearing with me for a couple hours here.
Happy Vaisakhi and Chardi Kala.
Happy Vaisakhi, everybody.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Darshan Singh Garewal of Singh, Michigan Development Company. I'd like to wish all the Punjabi families a very happy Vaisakhi. May Vaheguru Ji bless you all. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Sandhu, and I'd like to wish everyone in our community a joyous and happy Vaisakhi. To all of our elected officials that are joining us, I'd also like to say thank you. Your participation is very much appreciated. Everyone have a great day. Thank you.
Hi, this is Ratna Rao from Samosa, wishing everyone a happy Vaisakhi.
Hi, this is Dr. Syed Taj from Canton. Happy Vaisakhi to everyone.
Hi, I'm Atushi Bagchi.
I'm Sheil Desai.
And on behalf of Samosa,
South Asians of Michigan, organizing for Serious Action, a grassroots activist organization,
we'd like to wish everybody a very happy Vaisakhi.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Anvita Bitta Sani from Northville, Michigan. As we celebrate this festival of harvest, I would like to wish you all the success at work and prosperity in life. Happy Vaisakhi everyone. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Khalsa mero roop hai khals, khalse mein ho karo nivaas. Khalsa mero mukh hai anga, khalse ke ho sad sanga.
May Vaheguru be with you in all your endeavors on the auspicious day of birth of Khalsa.
Happy Vaisakhi.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Hello, everyone. From the Indian community, wishing you a wonderful Vaisakhi. Vaisakhi is a Vedic New Year, celebrated across India under different names, but especially celebrated enthusiastically in the Punjab. Vaisakhi is also the beginning of spring, and so we hope with spring it brings colors and vitality in our lives. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
On this day, Guru Gobind Singh Ji created the Khalsa, who fought against the evil rulers to restore dignity and freedom of religion for everyone, not only Sikhs. In daily prayer, Sikhs pray for Sarbadda Pala, welfare for all. Happy Vaisakhi everyone. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Hello, my name is Ashish Tikkiwala, President of Gujarati Samaj of Detroit. Behalf of all my Gujarati Samaj of Detroit community, we will wish you very, very good, fantastic, fabulous Vaisakhi 2021. Good luck.
Namaste and Sat Sri Akal. This is Chandru Acharya from Savvy, South Asian American Voices for Impact. I wish all my Punjabi brothers and sisters all across the globe a very, very happy Vaisakhi. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and Sat Sri Akal. Today is a very special day for Sikh community, and thanks for celebrating with us. Other than making the season of harvest, Vaisakhi also have religious significance for Sikh community. On Vaisakhi of 1699, our 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, established Khalsa. On this very special day, I wish everybody a very happy Vaisakhi, and may this Vaisakhi brings happiness, love, and peace across the globe. Thank you.
Happy Vaisakhi to everyone.
Hello everyone, Shri Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Shri Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm Jaswinder Singh Sandhu from Sandhu Transport. I would like to wish you, all my friends and families, very happy Vaisakhi and Khalsa Sajna Diwas. Enjoy it. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
We wish you all a very happy Vaisakhi.
On this auspicious day, Guru Gobind Singh Ji initiated Khalsa Panth to safeguard freedom and equality among all. Guruji holds a very special place in his heart for his Khalsa.
He says, Khalsa mero roop hai khas, Khalse mein hu karo nivas.
एक बार फिर साਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ